Resurrection Radio. That was Unholy Wrath from Sacrificer here in LA. And we're going to talk about it in a minute. But first, Sean had something going on, so he didn't join us tonight. So we decided we needed to come on anyway and talk about our friend Greg. McGobb Greg, as a lot of you know him from Sacrificer, who died a couple days ago, and play another Sacrificer track. But Tanner, what are your memories, man?
Oh, I got a good one for you. So I was telling you off the air, but I'll tell it on the air now. So we played with, it was Madras, Sacrificer, I think Mutants of War and Warhead. We all played this place called Casa Jimenez on in Pomona or whatever. I'm sure many people remember that place. It was kind of like a taco shop, but at the nighttime they transformed it into a venue in the back. And yeah, we just hung out with all those guys. Fucking great people. And the show was off the hook. You know, it seems like every time I would see Sacrificer, they always brought their crowd, and it was like one of the bands that literally packed. They didn't really play outside of LA, from my understanding. I could be wrong, but every time they would play their own town, but every time they would play, it was like packed, dude. So those
I know.
are some of my favorite memories, and some of the best picking hands you'll ever see on guitar.
Oh yeah, Greg, he was a monster, dude. Really helped the black and thrash scene here in Southern California. You know, when I first moved to LA, I worked with my old homie Chris Hatewar, booking shows and doing the Black Castle and other places for a long time. And Sacrificer was always one of our go-to bands. Because number one, they always brought it live, and they always brought their fans.
So let me ask you a question real quick. What was your first recollection when you first kind of saw him live?
Black Castle show. I can't remember exactly which one it was. And then we had him play the Joint a few times.
But did you say?
And we had him play fucking five. Every place that me and Chris ever booked, we had them play at least once.
They're a great band. I remember the first time I saw them, I was like, I couldn't believe the speed. That's all I remember is just the speed of the guitars, dude. And that was kind of the focal point for me. Were the riffs.
I think one of the fucking craziest shows we did with them was the night before Thrasher de Mayo that you played. We did a big free show at the fucking Joint the night before. Sacrificer was on that. And I mean, everybody came down from all the bands that were playing the next day. The place was packed, and Sacrificer killed it. They play with Dismantle too, huh?
Well, dude, they were one of those bands. They are one of these bands that just they bring it every night. And every time I see them, I just can't fathom just picking that hard, dude. I mean, there's a lot of picking attacks. So great band. I absolutely love it.
How all the great pickers in metal are all thrash guys.
Yeah, it's you know, well, to an extent, yes, but especially metal, I would say yes. But you know, I hope they still continue. I like I said, I've been kind of under the radar for a few, and this is kind of
that, and everybody's stuck at home. You know, I don't think they're going to be making any decisions yet. It's so hard.
But I mean, they're just a great band. You know, they have 2 records out. I highly suggest people go check it out.
Quite a few splits too. They got one with Velocity. They got one with Dismantle.
Yeah, absolutely. And this record fucking rules. So this is Restless Torment. Highly recommend people go check it out. I've been blasting a lot of like the LA thrash bands. I was blasting Tormentors, Prophetic Deceiver record.
Speaking of Tormentors, they're coming back. They got a new CD coming out real quick. I just got the message from Carlos and Corey. I'm pretty stoked about that.
Tell me more, dude.
They're working on finishing up the CD they were working on. They're almost got it done. They got a band back together. They've been rehearsing.
Brand new record, like a full length, or is it an EP?
Brand new full length record.
Sick, sweet. Well, when can we look forward to that? Next year, or
they haven't got a date yet. They're looking at maybe March, April, maybe summertime. But yes, they're coming back. I'm
excited. That'll be rad, dude. But you know, just hopefully this pays some sort of tribute to them, because they are, like I said, a great band, Sacrificer. So
always brought their crew, and no one ever had a bad thing to say about it.
No way. And they were some of the nicest people you'll ever meet.
And Greg was always that parking lot dude that, like, Show Us Your Scars, one of the bigger shows. He was always out there drinking beers. Always. I remember walking out, he just tossed me a beer automatically. It's fun good. Yeah, he's going to be missed. He was way too young, too, man. Way
So,
too young.
and what another thing that always kind of blew my mind. I know it's like not that hype oriented, but I couldn't believe that they always play with like leather jackets on and the bass player has like
They wore leather jackets everywhere.
Yeah, we know, but they would play with like
Yeah,
legit chains on, and
I know.
I'm like, how do you do that? It's a lot of weight. So props to them, and they still picked it like that, that fucking speed. So maybe it came from the chains and leather jackets. Who knows?
Yeah, I
But
think the last time I saw them was at the last airliner show. Oh,
no, that was the show I was telling you off the air. Because I think they played with Skeletal at the Slide Bar.
I was at that show. Sure.
So I think that was probably the last time, at least for me, that I saw him, and I think you were there. So that might have been because they hardly played after those airliner shows,
Yeah.
So
hey, I just got a message from our friend.
All right. Well, while you check your messages, let's go into some tunes, dude.
All right, let's listen to more Sacrificer with what was it? Vomiting Toxic Sludge right now on
Razor Radio.
All right, let's give Sean a couple minutes. I said we're still on. Click the link.
And there he is.
Hey, there's Mr. Peck. Welcome, brother.
I was just watching this horror movie where these old people are sacrificing some pregnant lady to Satan, and I totally spaced out on the whole thing.
I guess that would get me drawn in. Always like to sacrifice.
It's pretty metal, though.
Dude, absolutely. I really like the new Death Dealer record.
Oh, nice, dude. Thanks.
And so, are we just gonna go ahead?
Yeah,
okay. So, Sean, how you been, man? Thanks for joining us on the show. I'm sorry that you went to Andy's house to see a pregnant lady get sacrificed. So
I do it every night.
But tell us a little bit about. I'm going to ask the standard bullshit question where tell us a little bit about just the recording process of Conquered Lands.
This one was a little weird. This one was a little weird because we had recorded most of this like 4 or 5 years ago. Like 80% of the record was done like a long time ago. So we just been sitting on it, and like I got busy with Denner Sherman and the Tremors and the K, all the shit that I've been doing. Stu Marshall, the guitar player, he had his band in Australia called Night Legion. And they started getting pretty active, and then Ross the Boss is doing all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
So
as a matter of fact, he was our last in-face interview that we did on Razor Radio.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Ross is always a good interview, and so we finally got around to like finishing it up, and it was cool because we got some fresh ears on the songs and injected some heavy metal steroids into the ones that we already had, and then wrote like 2 or 3 others, and we're like, man, this is okay, let's put this thing out. And it's so funny because after that we just kept writing, and the 4th Death Dealer album's already done. The 5th Death Dealer album is almost done.
Wow.
And I think now we might put out an EP in a few months too, just because we got so much material. So
nice?
It's kind of weird,
Sorry,
it was hard for me. It's a weird one because like I'm so psychologically into Death Dealer 4 and 5 right now that like getting excited about the 3rd Death Dealer record was tough. And I had to kind of go back and get an appreciation for how really good it was, because I wasn't really that excited about it. I'm like, yeah, it's good, but people just fucking loved it, so I had to get back and kind of go, yeah, this is a fucking kick-ass record, and kind of rediscover it. So it was a different vibe, but just because of how it rolled out.
Well, wait a minute. So how long ago was Conquered Lands recorded as opposed to now 4 and 5?
Well, I mean, we like I said, like 80% of it was done like 4 years ago, man. We
That's
had
crazy.
literally most of the songs done, recorded, finished, and then it just kind of sat there. And then, but
Well,
after we go ahead.
you guys are fucking busy guys. I mean, you've got one project after another. So I can see where that could happen. But it's almost all you guys in the band too.
I've done, I think since April or March, since, because I came back from tour. The Tremors were in the middle of a U.S. tour when the
I
pandemic hit.
know.
I mean, we were on Eddie
supposed to meet
Trunk.
you. We were supposed to meet you at Malone's to do the live show. And
Yeah.
You got shot to shit.
We were on Eddie Trunk's show going, we're not canceling no matter what. We're not canceling. And then like it fucking a week later, like California shut down and we got Texas and Florida we got in, and then everything else was fine. But anyways, but since then I think I've recorded almost like 80 songs in 2020.
Wow.
I've been doing so much shit. It's insane, and it's all killer too. It's not a bunch of, except for my Eddie Murphy cover song. I don't know if you saw. I did that. My
Party
girl
all the time?
likes to party. Yeah, party all the time.
I wasn't gonna bring it up, but yeah.
Well, I wanted to branch off of that point though, because I remember another podcast that you were on. I watched it with the Aftershocks, and you had mentioned that you recorded 70 to 80 tracks, and what came to mind was like your lyrical expressions. How do you not get stale when it comes to writing lyrics for 70 songs in a fucking year?
That was kind of the Conquered Lands thing. I was in a lyrical, a bit of a writer's block a little bit. I can come up with like vocal melodies like all the time. But I'm like, okay, what the fuck am I going to write about now? Type shit. But man, I got on a roll with that too. With the new 3 Tremors album is done, 2 Death Dealer albums almost done. With Cage, we're sitting on just a ton of Cage songs, and then I've got this other thing that I can't talk about. I hate when people say it's a secret, but I've got another thing that's kind of remnants of the Denner Sherman situation. That's about all I can say about it. But so that's that shit too. And then people have been like, hey, I've turned down so much. I've done a guest track on the new Thor album. Thor.
Really, Thor.
Only the star.
Damn.
So I did a guest for that, but everyone, I've been asked to do so much shit, and I've just been no, turned down everything. And then my buddy, who I always stay at his house in Frankfurt, and he hooks me up with gigs and shit. He's like, "Hey, will you sing on my album?" I'm like, okay, you're a homie, you've hooked me up, yeah, I'll sing. And he's like, yeah, it's 13 tracks, and you're the bit for this part. I'm like, dude, wait a minute, like 13 tracks. So you got to be careful when you're doing favors for bros. But yeah, man, a lot of killer shit. And then we just wrote, like another 5. Just I got together with Casey Trask to put out his Monarch release today, and so we're just I'm literally tracking vocals like every night or every other night. So we're releasing at least 3 albums this year.
Wow.
And plus an EP, maybe 4. People are going to be so sick of me by the end of 2021. They're going to fucking shut that dude up.
Well, you're going to have to come back on the show to promote all that shit. Like, we're going to have him on like 8 times. Just come every other week.
Hopefully, everybody gets his vaccine and we get this shit open. You come up to Grill 'em All when we do the show up at Grill 'em All.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Well, yeah, we haven't been able to do that in a year now.
So I know that you mentioned 70 songs last year. Let's at least get into one of them, Andy.
Yeah.
Running with the Wolves, Tanner.
Right on. Let's do it, man. Right now on Razor Radio.
3, 2, 1. All right, that was Pounder with Hard City, the brand new Matt Harvey, his kind of power metal fucking metal thing too. And we're sitting here with Sean Peck from 3 Tremors Cage and Death Dealer.
Among other things?
Absolutely.
Among other things, yeah.
Is this the show where we play everybody that has like 80 projects and releases 80 albums a year.
Yeah, Matt Harvey's got quite a few projects too, huh?
Who?
Matt Harvey. We just played Pounder. His
Okay.
he's also in Exhumed and fucking some. He's the death metal. You're the power metal guy. He's the death metal guy. Does the same thing.
That's cool.
And speaking of the different styles, in your career, because you've been around a long fucking time. For those of you who don't know Mr. Sean Peck is, you should. But
I look like it. That's for damn sure with this gray.
Yeah, get my gray, buddy. I cut mine out.
My question becomes, is there a style that you have not yet done that you want to kind of do in your career?
I've got all these. I'm sitting on a ton of like freaking, every time I write like a love song, like Chicks and back in the, Dawkins style and, the hard rock stuff. I've got just a ton of those songs sitting in the, on the computer that are really fucking killer. Sexual innuendo songs are like so fun to write. And I really think I have a knack for it. But none of these bands I'm in, they're like, fuck that shit, dude. You can't. Anytime I bring one of these songs in, they don't want to hear about it. Like, dude, we need more vampire songs. I'm like, yeah, we do. We definitely need more witches and vampire and
Games of Thrones. Yeah.
So I got a ton of those, and so that I'm gonna have to do some sort of Sean Peck's Hot Night in the Streets or some shit album.
Your love song?
Because I'm like, dude, Van Halen, literally every fucking song is about shit like that. Dawkins, half the Priest songs are about that kind of shit.
Doesn't Warren DeMartini live down there in San Diego?
What's that?
Doesn't Warren DeMartini live down there in San Diego still?
Yeah, I got a feud with Warren DeMartini though.
Oh, never mind.
He's lucky he didn't get his ass beat one night.
So no love songs as far as
that goes. No Rat and Peck.
Yeah, it was a long. They wouldn't let us play. We were supposed to open for them down here, and we sold like 100 fucking tickets, and they're like, no, you can't play because they were afraid of Dave Garcia, the muscle guy. He came in fucking like heated, and they freaked out, like, fuck, this dude's gonna fucking kick our, and they wouldn't let us play, and like literally like all of our fans were throwing beers at them while they were on stage. It was almost a heavy metal riot because they wouldn't let Cage play the show.
And he's like the nicest
guy. Yeah, both of us.
My drummer went on their tour bus and wiped the Warren DeMartini's pillowcase in his ass. And in the liner notes, he wrote, Warren DeMartini, how does your pillow smell? There's a little rock. I don't think I've ever told that rock and roll story before. I give you guys an exclusive.
That's did he ever? Did he say, "How's your eye"?
Yeah. Right.
Is that the guy used to own Blue Meanie?
No, another guy before him.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Damian Arletto was his name.
Cool.
So we just played a couple songs ago. We played Running with the Wolves, and I'm just kind of curious. Your music video for it is fucking great. I'm assuming it's probably a European crowd.
Russian crowd.
I mean, how is Death Dealers just that huge over in fucking Europe as opposed to the US? I'm assuming. That's crazy. I was blown away by that video.
Fucking metal, the power metal. It's mad for it over there, dude.
That's
awesome. Was. You guys got to hold on a second. I got it. My phone's about to die, so I got to plug this thing in. As we go a little bit dark, I'm going to take you through the Peck fucking castle.
The mansion.
Peck mansion. Where San Diego you live in?
I live in Encinitas.
Oh, that's not bad. North County.
Here we go.
I used to own a home in Tennessee.
Oh, you should have kept it, dude.
Or what they call it, Plantina. That was the ex-wife. That she was from San Diego. I'm from the Bay Area, so when I got divorced, I was out.
So the hell yeah, beat it. So anyways, so that was we opened for the Metal All Stars. Death Dealer did, and that was a European arena tour. It's like Death Dealer, man, like cut the front to the front of the line. We did like 4 shows, like a Mexico show and 3 California shows, and then we did 10 arena dates. It was just insane. Wow. And the Metal All Stars at that time was like Udo, Max Cavalera, Joey Belladonna, Zach Wilde. Who the fuck else was on it? Anyways, a bunch of people. And so we opened for that. And so that's why those crowds were there. But
kind of like the version of Metal Legions, right?
Yeah. But and so we played Rush, you know, we'd open up, man, and these crowds didn't know who the fuck we were, but dude, they went nuts, dude. We just that was kind of why everybody in the band really, you know, believes in this thing in Death Dealer so much, is because we have tested this thing out cold to huge fucking crowds, and they went. I mean, you see the crowds; they're going fucking crazy. They have no clue who we are, what we don't know one song, and we get up there and just start wailing it. And that was a combination of a bunch of shows like Finland, Moscow, St. Petersburg, Istanbul, like Latvia. It was a bunch of Eastern European shit too. It was an awesome tour, and yeah, we had all this killer footage. We're like, we gotta use it. But yeah, it makes us look like we're fucking Metallica or something.
Yeah.
Well, and you can't go wrong with those fucking Manowar riffs. Total fucking
throwback. The boss riffs. Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course, but you know that song has a huge Manowar kind of vibe to it, so I loved it. So
yeah, that was kind of like I started singing that song, like that first line that I sing in Running with the Wolves doesn't make any sense with context to the song. We just left it in there, and but that was kind of like, you know, singing about Death Dealer, we're badass, come on, rock, you know, we're gonna kick your ass, kind of one of those kind of heavy metal songs, and about metal. And it came out really cool, man. It was just a good hook, and get into the mosh pit where the bodies are piled. You know, there's some cool lines in there. I like the don't bring your girlfriend or you'll leave here alone. Our reputation breaking hearts, dreams, and homes. I mean, pretty genius if you ask me.
But that line comes out of nowhere because nowhere in the song mentions like that's kind of the cheese in the fucking, you know, in between sandwich buns. I just wasn't expecting a line like that in a kind of a serious kind of song, but you know, it works for what it is.
I was just cracking myself up as I remember writing those lyrics, and I was just like laughing about it. And then I say, just like, dude, leave it in there. It's hilarious.
Absolutely. You know,
now,
and go for it, Andy.
I just like that, you know, you guys are considered a power metal band, but there's a huge difference between power metal in America and power metal in Europe.
Yeah, you know, I can't really I don't get excited about the happy power metal stuff.
No, I don't either.
La, la, la. You know, I grew up on Priest and Maiden and Wasp and, you know, Testament, and, you know, even Dokken, Tooth and Nail on the first album, they fucking just, I mean, that was my first metal concert was Dio and Dokken destroyed Dio that night when I saw him. It wasn't even close. And so I like the Painkiller on steroids shit. I like, you know, Venom and Spite in those vocal melodies. And if it gets too happy, man, my happy meter goes off, and I'm like, yeah, we gotta change this one up.
Yeah, like the
so melody. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're power metal, but we're you know, there's in the Death Dealer stuff, there's lots of thrash elements, lots of epic elements, lots of just straight heavy metal. So, you know, hard to categorize because there's so much different shit going on.
Yeah, but it's not just you guys. I mean, it's most of the American power metal bands are heavier too. That's just something I've noticed in life, I guess. You You know, it seems like all the European shit outside from like Halloween is all pretty fucking happy.
Oh, but
Yeah, like Vicious Rumors and
Fuck yeah,
Hellstar
Death
and
Door.
Jazz Panzer and
I used to go to
we've
Kager
all.
parties with them in high school.
There you go.
Yeah, I will.
I agree with you, man. But that's but I was influenced by the new wave of British heavy metal, which
Oh yeah.
doesn't have a lot of happy bullshit in it either. So, I agree, man. I'm in agreement. And some of the reviews you'd read, like this is leather bound, muscle clad, heavy metal. I'm like, this is just heavy metal, dude. This is how it started. Like there's no. This isn't some anomaly, man. This is the roots for what all these other genres sprouted from.
well, do you think though, because the album came out in 2020, I mean, what if this album came out in 1986? I'm sure people would be like, this is a classic. That's what people do, you know?
That's what Ross says, like Running with the Wolves would be on the top of the charts if it came out in 1986. And
you're probably right.
Yeah, that's what my point is. So like these reviewers, don't know shit when it comes to that stuff, in my personal opinion.
But I mean, we got a lot of, unlike the Three Tremors album, we got a lot of really good reviews on this album. Even Blabbermouth was like an 8 or an 8.5. Blabbermouth was just like glowing review, and normally, they're out to destroy shit like this. So that was a shock. But overall, the reviews were really good, and the reviews that were bad were people that just don't even like this style of music. And I'm like, why is this guy even fucking listening to this record? Like, dude,
that's the thing. Decibel does that all the time with their reviewers. They'll give them albums like, well, I know you're a thrash death metal guy, but here's some atmospheric black metal. Tell us what you think. It's what? I don't want to hear his opinion about it. I want to hear someone's opinion that knows about that type of music.
Yeah. But it sold really, really good, which is cool. The fans really embraced it. The fan support. We went on a campaign of only the 3 songs that we put out on videos hit Spotify. Everything else, no Spotify, no streaming. Like, if you want to hear this record, what?
We're playing 3 tracks in our rotation on Razor Radio.
Well, there you go, man. I appreciate that. But like I said, we said, we're the physical medium. We're all about the physical. We're putting like incredible product out. The pre-orders like sold out. The vinyl sold out before the launch date even happened. The digipack sold out. So people, supported it and embraced it. And we did a lot of advertising. We spent a lot of money on marketing, but it was cool to see, people are really supportive of it. And I was stealing the Stan Lee line, which he used about comic books. I can't claim this line for my own, but basically it's like, heavy metal is like a nice pair of tits. It's much better to hold in your hands than look on the internet.
Ha! That's true.
No argument for me there.
All right, let's get into another track, and then we'll come back and ask you a few more questions and get some links.
Let's do it.
How about Slayer Be Slain?
I love it.
Right now on
Razor Radio.
2, 1. All right, that was Cage right there with Planet Crusher, another band that this man Sean Peck, who's joined us, was in. I think that was from their last record. Sean, when do you think you're going to get back to the live stage? Any opinions?
Psychologically, I've kind of written off 2021. Really, everyone's like, oh, we can do this and we can do that. Like, we actually were trying to book some shows in Alaska. We were going to take Cage and Ripper, and we were going to go up there, and because Alaska was fully open. And then right when we booked it, they closed down. We're like, fuck, dude, like everywhere we go. But, so we're just kind of, playing it by ear. We've got, tons of, I know Ripper wants to get the KK stuff going. They're ready to shoot off like a rocket. And so that's going to put the Three Tremors on a little bit of a hiatus until that kind of cycles. So we're going to be doing Death Dealer, some Cage stuff, and that's what's on the live agenda. That's probably what's coming up. We might do some. I don't know. We might do some United States Tremor shows. But it's just, it's so weird out there. That's what the big questions are asking everybody. And so I'm just like, I'm not in a hurry, man. I'm just like, we're concentrating on making these records, just getting the killer artwork. And, I've been really studying the digital marketing aspect of music stuff, which is, the Google Analytics and Facebook.
Yeah, the stuff you got to do nowadays if you want to be successful.
Yeah, so it's kind of a hobby, and it's been working. That's been working really cool. But yeah, just I've been on my anti-Spotify crusade.
I've seen the post.
Yeah, and I just I don't get it, because these people work so hard on these records. They pour all this money into it, and then the Friday release date comes out, and it's just free for everybody. Like, what? I mean, how does that make any sense? Like, there was records that I was going to buy, and then I went on my YouTube Premium, and there it was, like, Thursday night, and I listened to it, and I don't need to buy this now. I just push a button on my phone, and I can hear the whole thing. Fuck it. So we've been, the cool thing about metal, as is it's full of a lot of collectors, and it's full of people that want that want the to hold it, to look at it.
Kind of vinyl picture disc,
Put out, had a 3D lenticular, where it's in 3D of the cover, patches, shirts, pictures. We put bonus tracks on the vinyl. We had all different, killer color combinations on the vinyl, and we put it out at like a really, like, 2/3 of the price of all the other labels. So we put it out like really fan friendly, and they fucking supported it, man. And they ate it up, and the shit looks kill. I mean, our products look like better than, we got the top artists, and our shit just looks amazing.
The artwork on Conquered Lands is fucking awesome.
Yeah, that I'm calling that heavy metal cover art of the year. I haven't seen anything that really. I dig the Deeds of Flesh cover. The Sodom cover's cool. I put out a post and asked people to post, different album cover arts, and I didn't see anyone that beat the Conquered Land. So we got that going for us.
I
like yours, Tanner.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Your artwork too.
With the Three Tremors, though, I'm just kind of curious with this new record that's coming out, in the coming months or the next year or so, what did you do differently, and what did you kind of learn from the first Three Tremors record and apply it to the second record?
We learned that there's a lot of pussies in heavy metal these days. That's what we learned. I mean, people are like, oh my God, it's too crazy. Oh my God, it's too much. How are we going to ever, I might have told you guys this before. So we had a lot of good reviews, but there were some people that were just out to fucking 2 out of 10. Just, they wanted just to say it was the biggest piece of shit ever made. But what we had going for us is we had already done 17 live shows in Europe where we played the whole album live for crowds that didn't know one single song. And they, we floored these crowds. They fucking absolutely loved the material. So when we got these reviews that were saying how shitty it was, it had like zero. Normally I would have been pissed off, but it had like zero impact on me, because I'm like, I was just standing at the merch booth 17 nights in a row, selling the shit out of everything, and having people come up say it was one of the greatest shows. They've seen 1,000 metal shows, and that was one of the greatest ones they've ever been to. So, obviously the fan review is the one that you care most about. And so what we did learn that, move on this one, we kind of have, we didn't do as many super fast songs. We got some stuff that's more
spacey,
and we didn't even do it on purpose. That's just kind of how it came out. We've got like 12 tracks, and I would say 5 of them are kind of up to fast, and the rest are, like, straight ahead kind of headbanging heavy metal, and they're all. I think people are going to go, oh, this is much better, because it's not as a freaking crazy. We tried to put an atom bomb in people's ears on the first album, and some people couldn't deal with it.
I'll never forget the first night we saw Three Tremors, huh, Tanner? Because it was so fucking cold at Malone's. You remember that? Oh my god, fucking yeah.
Yeah, that was like near my birthday, I believe.
Yes, it was fucking cold as fuck.
Yeah,
I remember Ripper wouldn't even come out. We just had you and Tyler on. It was too cold.
Yeah, he's and we were still, we just did in like February, we did a big England run, and we did a killer festival in England that we headlined. And Blaze Bayley came out and sang with us, which is really cool. And that show, like we had just gotten we finally got it tight. Like I think we're like 60 some odd shows in. And like that was the one, like, dude, we got this down now. It's always been good, and we've been a little we were always kind of improvising on the fly a little sometimes, like maybe 10% improvisation. But we were in the zone, and it's a shame because we had a bunch more tours planned and more shows, and we were building it, and it was fun. It's fun to hang. The Cage guys and Ripper and Harry, we were like a heavy metal street gang. And we became like really tight bros and really enjoyed being on the road together, and through the fucking good times and the bad times. It's mostly just laughs. And so Ripper is really cool. He enjoys the shit out of the whole Tremors thing because it's fun, and even when shit goes wrong, we're able to figure it out. It's a bummer that this got shut down because we were kind of on a roll there.
Well, in the meantime, tell us a little bit about where people can find the new Death Dealer record that was released, obviously.
Or the Three Tremors. Where can people get your shit?
Well, we have steelcartel.com. That's kind of the label that we got working, steelcartel.com. But the Death Dealers, deathdealermetal.com, deathdealermetal.com, deathdealermetal.com.
Deathdealermetal.com.
Yeah, you got to say it 3 times in a row. The3tremors.com, 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 cageheavymetal.com. I'm only going to say that one once. But steelcartel.com, you can get everything. And it's been great, man. The YouTube channel is like, we got, we just kind of started it, and we got 1,000 subscribers in the first few months, which is good. And people are supporting it. And we, sign up to our email list because we send out free songs all the time. We send out advanced videos before they hit the public. The one thing that we did with the Death Dealer is not only did we send out, before the video was released, we sent out the video for everyone to check out, but we also sent a free MP3 download of every video song. Because I figured, I'm like, it's on YouTube anyways. Why not send people the MP3? Fucking, And so
listen to it on any device.
So we gave away 3 free songs, and people really dug it and appreciated it and bought the shit out of it. But moving forward, like I said, I think we're going to do a Death Dealer EP in the next few months with a cool 10-inch vinyl.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's the artwork we got for it is fucking coming out really sick. And then we're probably going to release the next Death Dealer record. Forget the EP, but the 4th one, this is my favorite. That's why I couldn't even hardly get into the Conquered Lands, because the 4th Death Dealer album is like a masterpiece, and it's so fucking good. Yeah. It's got like some gnarly like thrash songs, like Anthrax, like you've never heard. And
2022.
What's that?
2022 for that?
No, that's coming out at the end of 2021.
All right, that makes me.
So the next Three Tremors album is going to be probably the next one that comes out maybe June or July, we're thinking. Cool. And then somewhere in between all that is going to be finally a new Cage album, because people have been crying for the Cage. We haven't done one since 2015, Ancient Evil, and every time we go do the Tremors tour or wherever, it's like, when's Cage coming? When's Cage coming? Like we have a lot of, we've done a lot of groundwork with Cage of seven albums, and I always forget, what a devoted fan base we actually have for the Cage stuff, because we've been at it since 1992. And I always
long
put out
now.
yeah, it's crazy. But I'm like, is this album good enough? Like the last one, I was like, oh man, I don't know about this one, and they fucking loved Ancient Evil, so
we played Planet Crusher earlier. It's a great track.
What's that?
I said we played Planet Crusher earlier. That's a great track from that.
Well, that's we that was off Science of Annihilation. We remixed and re-recorded all the drums on that and put that out, I think, last year, called Science of Annihilation Re-Annihilated.
Okay.
And that's my favorite Cage record. And so because it sounded like shit. And then we're probably going to re-record the one that was after that, Supremacy of Steel, because that sounds like shit too. And we just keep working, dude. I mean, it's all about the glory of steel. And I just want the metalheads to, it's become a little, factionized, and people arguing about politics and too much of that. Like, I put out a post the other day saying, metal was a superior society. Like we were non-racial, non-religious, non-sex before it was cool, without even having to be told or virtue signal or anything. Halford came out as a gay guy, no one even batted an eye. Like, oh, okay, when's the new Priest album coming out? No, we're already beyond all that division, and that's why I'm so proud of being a metalhead, and I really think it's a thing. But man, so there's some of the the social media people are just attack and
it's awful.
Want to divide. I'm like, look,
it's just not the metal world, dude.
All the John Schaefer shit and like, let's ban him and shit. Like, people need to fucking take a chill pill.
But that has to do with like the TMZs of fucking metal, as I'll call it. Fuck those fucking publications. I'm sorry. I
like metal sucks.
Yeah. Yes.
I hate those guys.
Like I don't want to even give them free publicity, but you guys know who I'm talking about. But it's like
all they want to do is start fucking fights with everybody,
dude.
That's how they get clicks.
But that's how they get clicks and get paid. They're only looking for the bottom dollar, and it's just like it's just sad that it's seeped into this metal world, because you're right, dude.
Yeah.
Politics don't need to play a part in the music, in my opinion. Whether right, left, middle, whatever the fuck you believe in, just put on the fucking record and enjoy it. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, and it's just like you would see a transsexual freaking Muslim wearing a Maiden shirt, and you would just give him the horns while you're getting this a 12-pack of Budweiser to go, hey, fuck yeah, man, and you got a Maiden shirt on. It doesn't even matter who
you're absolutely right.
And that's how it's always been. I was down in this really ritzy part of town, and I was meeting my partner, grabbing delivering some paperwork, and like there was this teenage girl. She looked like she was like 13. She's out in her like pajamas, but she had an Immolation shirt on, and I was like, look. And I go, is that Immolation? And she looks at me, she's like, yeah. I go, you like death metal? And she's like, yeah, like this innocent freaking like 12, 13 tops.
It's awesome.
And I fucking threw her the horns. I'm like, that's fucking sick, man. And
good taste.
Just
really good
an
taste.
Example. And my message to the world, the metal world, is like, leave all that shit behind in 2021, and let's just celebrate. Metal is a uniter, not a divider.
Absolutely, my friend. Couldn't have ended it there best, dude. So let's fucking end it.
Sean, thank you for your time, and we're gonna end it. Kind of fun. We're gonna end it with Conquered Lands.
I gotta finish this movie where these two people are about to sacrifice this pregnant chick to Satan.
All right, man. We'll let you go back to your thing. So,
Conquered Lands right now on.
I love that song.
Razor Radio.
That was fun.